We have on the line Reagan. Greg has been on the show before, and it didn't take me long to realize that Greg's intelligence far surpassed everybody else in the room, and so we had to get him out quickly, Nicole. We couldn't let him. He was embarrassing everybody else in the room, and he and I spoke a while back, and it was clear to me that I needed to bring him back, and I wanted to dig in a little bit more on exactly what it is he does and how he does that. So, Greg, I've got Nicole here. I think she's going to be able to mentally keep up with you, so don't try no tricks with me this time, okay?
I'll do my best.
So, but before we get started, Greg, you are the managing director of Reagan Forensic Accounting Firm, specializing in forensic accounting for small businesses and business valuations, mainly supporting litigation and that sort of stuff. Do I have that correct, or do you want to define that a little bit better?
No, that is correct. Most everything we do is attached to litigation of some sort. There's some things we do that are more of an actual mergers and acquisition transaction, but most of what we do, investigating fraud, kind of looking into alleged financial shenanigans, figuring out the value of businesses when there's a divorce or shareholders are in a fight, people are trying to buy and sell financial interests in businesses, and they can't do it apart from some type of a dispute. That's pretty much when we get called in. So
for me, Greg, I'm interested to know what's the difference between how I would value a business to market value so that I can sell it, and how you're going to value a business and sit up on the stand and tell the judge what you think the value of the business is. What are the differences between those?
The main difference is, Joe, when you are working with people, you've got real live people. You've got a buyer and a seller. Both of them have knowledge about all the relevant facts. They don't have to buy or sell. They're not under any kind of compulsion. And there's an arm's length negotiation back and forth that takes place that arrives at what we call the fair market value of the business. But when you don't have real live people negotiating to buy or sell a business, you have to come up with a hypothetical buyer and a hypothetical seller. In litigation, the hypothetical seller is the business owner, and the hypothetical buyer is just this unknown person. And so we have to try to create a scenario that is similar to a real transaction, but is completely hypothetical.
Interesting. So a forensic accountant is going to dig in far greater than I am. I'm going to make assumptions that when the client says, "Oh yeah, that was carpet for my home," I'm moving on, right? I'm going to give that an add back and move on. You're literally going to go and dig into that and validate the question and the answer, correct?
Yes, we have to dig into the general ledger of the businesses that we are evaluating. There, in America today, there are just so many businesses that aren't audited. And when you're not audited, you don't really have a CPA looking at how you're doing your accounting. Some of your accounting may be inconsistent with generally accepted accounting principles. Some of the transactions in the business may really be more personal than business. We have to look for all of that. And my job is to determine a cash flow stream that's coming out of that business historically that I think will continue into the future. And that can get tough, particularly in today's environment.
So who is your client? I mean, I'm not going to call you because I don't want you digging into my stuff. You understand that, don't you, Greg? So,
Joe, he said no shenanigans. I don't know if you caught that earlier, but he's a no shenanigans guy. I'm really liking Greg.
Nicole, I knew you would like Greg. I know that. I like a little shenanigans from time to time, Greg. So who would call you, Greg? Who is your sort of primary client?
We're generally called by a law firm, an attorney that's involved in litigation, either civil litigation or family law litigation, some type like that. And we're actually engaged by his client, which could be the business owner or the non-business owning party. We're hired by both. We work with defendants and plaintiffs equally. So my job is to be objective. It doesn't matter who hires me. You know, if you hire me, Joe, and you don't want me looking into your business, I'm sorry. That's what I have to do.
Right. Yeah, right. I got it. So how has this virus affected what it is you do? Because a lot of, from what I understand, litigation has just sort of stopped. The justice system has simply put everything on pause. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yes, you are. The legal system is shut down. Everything's being deferred. There's going to be a huge logjam awaiting everybody in the legal community once this is all over with. But the biggest impact to me and what I do with this COVID-19 issue is a business was worth a lot of money on December the 31st, 2019. What's it worth today? I mean, businesses are shutting down. I'm working right now in a case. I can't disclose anything confidential about it, but I'm required to value the business on December the 31st, 2019. And I've been talking to guys like me around the country who, some of whom are on the boards that set the standards. We have rules and regulations we have to follow when we value a business for the marketplace. People rely upon us to be objective and unbiased and follow the rules. And so the rules tell us that if something isn't known or knowable on the date that I'm valuing the business, I can't consider it. So on December the 31st, 2019, an event occurred in China, but we didn't know about it here in the United States until a little bit later. So the standards require me that if I'm valuing that business at December 31st, 2019, I have to value it based on what was known that day. But I'm sitting here today, and I know good and well that business is closed. They've shut its doors until this issue can get resolved, and they may or may not be able to reopen. And so it's a real problem for us to help the courts, the juries, and the judges understand these issues and provide competent values, because those businesses simply aren't worth what they were 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago.
Well, you know, Greg, and in my world, which is market-driven valuations, I could not tell you what the consumer is going to come back to. I don't know what commerce is going to look like or the cost that I'm going to have to incur into the future for a retailer. I don't know. It is a large unknown, and for that reason, it's almost impossible to put a value or a cash flow assumption. And if you're a buyer trying to calculate the risk, gosh, it's off the chart risky right now for the next 2 months.
It really is, Joe. In real simplistic terms, whether you're me doing a hypothetical transaction or we're you doing a real transaction, the value of a business is determined by three simple things. What do you think those future cash flows are going to be? What do you think the risk of realizing those future cash flows are going to be? And is this business going to grow, or is it going to decline in the future? Well, there's so much uncertainty today that we don't know what to do. We don't know how to measure those cash flows. So I think for most of us, everything's kind of on hold. We need to see when this virus is going to turn the other direction. We need to see if businesses are going to get restarted. We need to know if unemployment is going to drop, if the economy is going to pick back up again. I'm listening to, there's a really great, I'll give a quick blurb. There's an economics firm in Atlanta called ITR Economics. They are awesome. And they've been studying this thing for 25, 30 years, and they've got a 95% accuracy rate in predicting future economic results. And I'm listening to webinars that they're producing, from time to time that they've been doing, I think, about every month right now. But they're saying this is going to come back around. The issue is none of us know when. Yeah. And none of us know what it's really going to look like.
And Greg, for me, I believe it's coming back. I just don't know what it's going to look like, right? I don't think commerce is going to be conducted in the same way. It's going to be altered. I just don't know by how much, to what extent, and there will be a cost to that, and that is the unknown for the next 30 to 60 days. At least that's kind of what I'm hearing out there. Hey, Greg, we don't have much time, buddy. If somebody wanted to reach you, how could they reach you?
We have a website. It's Reagan, Reagan, and then the letters FVL, F for forensic, V for valuation, L for litigation.com.
And we only have about a minute or so, buddy, but tell people how you got in this business, because I got to be honest with you. I don't know a lot of forensic accountants. How did you get in this business?
Well, I've been a CPA for 38 years. I've audited public and private company financial statements in some of the international and larger CPA firms. I've prepared complex business tax returns, individual tax returns. I've written business plans and built financial projection models. I've helped clients buy and sell businesses. It all prepared me, to do what I do today, to go in and
look at the shenanigans. That's what it prepared you for.
That's right.
Greg, thank you so much, my friend. I wish we had more time. I'd like to get you back again where I can get you in the studio and we can dig in more and don't have to talk so much about the virus, but we can talk about some of the other things that you do. Because honestly, I told Julie, my company factotum and client manager, hey, put Greg's contact information in a special place because you're the guy that you don't need, don't care about, and then all of a sudden, when you need him, you need him. And so, so your information is in a special place whenever I need to find some shenanigans is happening, buddy.
Sounds great, Joe. I'd love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.